All right, welcome back to video number 2 of the Archetypes of the Menstrual Cycle series. Today we are going to talk about how this affects your love life or dating if you are currently dating and why this matters. And if you're someone who experiences your partner saying like, you're moody and sometimes really hard to understand and I don't really know what to do about it, and you're like, yeah, me neither, it's likely because you don't actually fully understand yourself, your hormones, and how to communicate that so that it can bridge the partnership in a way that feels a bit more fulfilling and like your needs are being met based off of what's happening hormonally. And I truly believe, because I've seen it in my clients and I've seen it in my own life, when you know how to communicate what is happening on so many levels aside from like the love languages and things like that, you are able to take your intimacy and communication to that next level because of what's happening hormonally, and it will free you of unnecessary tension and conflict, especially during luteal phase. And if you haven't watched video number 1 in this series, definitely watch that video and then come back here because this is going to make a lot more sense. But before we dive in, if you are new to my world, hello. My name is Shay. I'm a holistic hormone and life coach. I teach driven, ambitious millennial women how to make money online, eliminate PMS, learn how to get pregnant naturally, and age like fine wine. You will also find all things holistic wellness and personal development. It's kind of my MO. So if you like my vibe or what I teach, be sure to hit that subscribe or follow button. Find me on all social platforms, and let's go ahead and dive into today's video. I want to break down the 4 archetypes in a couple of different ways. I want to give you both the light and the shadow traits. And what I mean by that is the positive, or we can go with the more negative attributes. I like using the words light and dark because all of us have this inside of us. And I wouldn't necessarily say that one is positive or negative. They all really matter because this is part of the human experience. So let's go ahead and dive in. And we're going to start with follicular phase, which is the Creatrix archetype. Her energy in relationships is very playful and open, imaginative, curious. Is kind of the flavor that comes through when you're interacting with someone else. She really needs encouragement, freedom to explore, lightness, optimism, and support in trying new things because this is the time of the cycle that she is most open to trying new things. I would say the light attributes that she brings to the table when she's in a relationship and or dating is that she can be spontaneous and fun. She's going to rekindle the excitement of the connection, sending flirtatious texts maybe. And she might be full of so many different date ideas. She's more of the visionary, really seeing the potential in the partnership or the relationship, and she's going to be really focused on wanting to do things together and the activities, things like that. I'm very curious to know if this is resonating for you. And with that, when it comes to dating, this is going to be the best time of the cycle to go on new dates simply because you're going to be more open and receptive to meeting someone that you don't know and being excited to do that, unlike any other time of the cycle. And if you're in a relationship, it's really going to help you understand like, oh, this is the best time of the cycle to initiate new things, bring new things to the table for your relationship to try on if it's something that you're wanting to do. Because of what the hormones are doing, you're naturally going to want to gravitate towards the newness and be more receptive to it. However, some things to be mindful of, a shadow of this particular phase, if you are not being aware of what is going on, is the fact that because of what our hormones are doing, you are going to have more energy naturally, but sometimes this can lead to overcommitting, maybe ignoring red flags because you're just so excited and thirsty for life in the best way possible, and lose yourself in idealism a little bit. Really just meaning that the excitement or the fantasy projections are very easy to fall prey because of this time of the cycle, because you're just so like, oof, I'm like excited about life and what life is bringing me. A tangible practice that you can have to really help yourself stay grounded is checking in with yourself and asking like, what would be fun and fulfilling for me this week, and tune into your body's own wisdom. Next, we have the Sensual Muse, which is the ovulation phase. Again, my personal favorite archetype to tap into. I feel like it's the one that I just feel my best self, and most women tell me this is their favorite too. Her energy is very nurturing, radiant, magnetic, playful, sensual, connected to her senses and what she's experiencing in her life. And of course, if you think of this in relation to a relationship, it is going to give you the most like fun energy to play with, like cuddles and kisses and flirting and all of that kind of stuff. She really needs and loves appreciation, recognition, space to give and receive love, and having a shared vision. The light side of this particular archetype is that during this phase, she's really going to prioritize the connection and collaboration. Her libido is higher, so it is going to be a more time for like fun intimacy when it comes to the bedroom. And she's a lot more expressive. However, some things to keep in mind that can be more of those shadow traits and some challenges that can sometimes come up if you're not living from that embodied, grounded state is this could be a really easy time of the cycle where you overgive, you people please, and maybe develop some resentment when it's unreciprocated simply because you have so much energy to give and your cup really truly is really full. But as you move into your luteal phase, if you are not mindful of how you are doing life and setting life up with your partner or in dating, then this can really burn you out when it comes to the next phase. So a really good checkpoint here is, am I giving from overflow, and is this still going to support me as I move into my luteal phase? So the things that you might be saying yes to, or the stuff that you're agreeing with in the relationship, etc., make sure that it's still going to set you up to feel supported and loved and cared for when it comes to the next phase. Which brings me to luteal phase, which is the archetype of the wild woman. I also really love luteal phase. Sometimes we have a love-hate relationship because of all the deep, sensitive emotions that might be coming up and the things that I need. I feel like a teddy bear where I just need to be hugged sometimes, and it can be really difficult to express that. I've definitely had a journey with this, so let me know if that resonates with you. However, I know that it can be an extraordinarily transformative time of the cycle where you actually can create much deeper connection in the relationship when you know how to work with this energy and educate your partner in this. Her energy is wild. You start to become a little more sensitive and intuitive and attuned to your environment and how your partner might be feeling. Very discerning energy. So this is what I always joke with some of my clients, that during this phase, your partner could literally be sitting next to you, breathe funny, and you will have a whole fit about it. And it is because there is so much happening because of your hormones that you really need to ground yourself with nervous system regulation tools, understanding this phase and being able to know what your body is asking for and communicating to you. She really needs emotional safety, honesty, safety and spaces for rawness, and truly a space to fill without fixing. It's really more just being witnessed and seen and held in whatever is coming up. She does not need fixing. Actually, probably likely doesn't want too many solutions. She just wants you to hear her out. What I love about this time of the cycle and the light that can really come through when you understand and have an awareness of what's happening hormonally is that this time of the cycle really helps you cut through the bullshit and cut through everything that just isn't working in your life. It is the perfect time to discern like yes and no with a very clear clarity, intuitive, spot on way of deciding what is going to stay in your life and what's not, or maybe what's not working and gets to shift. However, of course, with the light always comes the dark. So some challenges that you might come up against is experiencing a lot of irritability, self-protection, or misdirected criticism. So it's important that you understand this, and a really good tangible practice that you can do during this time of the cycle that's supportive to your relationship is having clearing conversations, first with yourself, but also with your partner or truly anyone else in your life. Something that I like to ask myself during this phase, especially if it feels like I'm spiraling a little bit, is, am I telling myself a story and what's the actual reality? And if that is the case, then I go, the story I'm telling myself is blah, blah, blah. Once you kind of finish that sentence and can check in with yourself, you're going to be able to discern the fact that you might just be going through a lot emotionally, feeling slightly sensitive, and then be able to distinguish the projection versus the reality and be able to move forward in a way that feels grounded. And then last, but certainly not least, is menstruation phase, which is the oracle. I also really love the energy from the oracle because she is potent when you know how to work with her. She is reflective. She is a visionary. She is incredibly soulful and tapped into the unseen wisdom, a wisdom that comes from your higher power, whatever it is you believe in. But you are so freaking attuned and connected to something much greater than you, and it's able to channel through you and come into embodied wisdom, teach you things about life, yourself, etc. And when you allow yourself space to slow down and whatnot, and especially bring it to the relationship, it allows you to unlock new doors that can take the relationship or the dating experience much further for you when you know how to harness this energy. She really needs slowness, gentleness, maybe quiet moments, and generally just needs time to rest. The light side of this is that you're really able to articulate patterns, needs, and clarity as you move forward in your life. And you can really use this as a gift to harness the relationship and where it can really go. And it's a beautiful time to have those deeper conversations with your partner, the person that you're dating and getting to know, in a way that can fulfill you and move the container forward that is beneficial to both. Of course, that always comes with a shadow side, as I mentioned. So some challenges that you can experience during this particular phase is maybe sometimes a little bit of emotional withdrawal, feeling unseen or overly sensitive because you do need to slow down and things need to shift, and really helping your partner or the person that you're dating understand that you just might need a little bit more slowness and want to be by yourself. Understanding this and knowing this, a tangible practice that you can do and implement is letting the person that you are with know that this is a slow day for you. This is a disconnect day. This is a me day. And the two of you can kind of do your own thing until your energy builds back up and you're back in that creatrix / follicular phase energy and everything starts over again. And this is the beautiful thing of understanding that you are cyclical and intimacy also sometimes is cyclical. Definitely let your partner know what phase you're in, what flavor of the feminine is he going to be experiencing, and this is really going to help diffuse that tension or miscommunication. He's going to know how to support you better, and you're going to also understand how this is helpful to you as well, because you also have an understanding of yourself. If you don't know how to do this on your own, definitely hit me up in the DMs or head to the link in my bio. My course will break everything down for you and help you achieve your flirty, fertile, and thriving life. I'm super excited for the final video of this series, so definitely stay tuned. We're going to be covering productivity and productivity hacks when it comes to really embodying each of the archetypes and how you can use this in relation to your goals, your life, your business, career, etc. So I will catch you guys in the next video.